Thanks for joining us, guys, and welcome to the Power Platform in real life. Our pipelines need context variables in a repository to run, so today let's get that set up in Azure Devops. This is a follow-up from the part 1 video. If you haven't seen that yet, have a look. It shows everything we'll build together. When the build pipeline runs to export solutions from Dynamics 365 and commit to the repository, it will need variables like Azure DevOps URL, repository name, service principal, secrets, etc., etc. So these variables are stored in pipeline libraries, and you can group the variables into variable groups. We'll create one variable group per environment and another common variable group for the entire pipeline to run. Navigate to dev.azure.com, click your Azure DevOps organization and select your project. If you already have your organization and project, chances are that you're going to be redirected to it automatically. Otherwise, you will need to create those. With the proper access and licensing, creating an Azure DevOps organization and project is just a bunch of give it a name and click next, next, next. Once you are inside of your project, click Pipelines and then Library. To create a variable group, click New Variable Group, give it a name and description, click Add Variable, and insert the variable value. It's simple like that. By the way, linking secrets to Azure Key Vault, as we said before, is out of the scope for this series, but we'll for sure include that in a later video. So, coming back to our libraries, since you don't want to see me writing all the variables manually, we'll run a PowerShell command to create those faster, and then we'll take a look at them. So as we said previously, there is one common variable group that helps the entire pipeline to run 100% of the time, and then one variable group for each Dynamics 365 environment. In this scenario, dev, test, and prod. Taking a look at the common variable group, these are the variables we'll store there. Azure Devops Path. It's a secret to enable the pipeline to run Azure CLI commands. Note there is a lock on the side here. This can be used for sensitive variables like path and secrets. If you click it, it locks the field. Your pipeline will be able to use it, but you will not be able to see it anymore. Just be careful. If you lock and unlock, you lose its value. Then we have repository name, Dynamics 365 connection string. Note that this contains other variables inside it. Since this platform runs on PowerShell, you will notice that the money sign and the name of the variable inside of a parenthesis are there sometimes. You might be asking, where are these variables coming from, right? They will come from another variable group. We'll get there. We also have Github Path. This is optional in case you want to run integrations with GitHub. Organization URL, project name, and Dynamics URL. Now let's check the dev variable group. It contains the client ID and the client secret of the service principal for the Dynamics 365 dev environment. If you haven't seen our video to create a service principal, we invite you to take a look. And then environment name, org, and region. If you noticed, these are the variables that will help dynamically populate the connection string and the URL variables from the common variable group. The test and prod variable groups contains the same variables as dev, but with values relevant to the Dynamics 365 test environment or the prod environment. And this is it. Now we've got our variables set up. Oh, just before we play our cool ending song, let's create a Dynamics 365_solutions folder in our main branch in the repository, another Dataverse_data, and one more for pipelines. And now we're going to branch off to the develop branch. Great, now we can play it.